Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own faux fur pom-pom. So if you want to know how I make my faux fur and pom-poms, stay tuned. So the things that you need for making faux fur pom-poms are a marker or something to trace out your shape, scissors so you can cut your fur and your string, and then a tapestry needle so you can weave it in to form your pom-poms. I usually like to use a bigger one than this, but I've currently lost my favorite one, so I'm going to use this today. And then something to trace out the size of your pom-pom. I have this old bowl that I used to use for mixing paint. It's the perfect size for 6-inch pom-poms, so I use this for my larger pom-poms. You could also cut your pieces into squares, but I find that the circles help me form a more round pom-pom. The next thing you need is crochet floss. I use crochet floss for mine. You could also use a yarn or any kind of string really that would be easy to weave in and out of your fur. You also need polyfill to stuff your pom-poms with. You don't need a huge amount of this, but it's nice to have some extras just in case. And then you'll need your faux fur. I usually buy my faux fur in 1/2 yards or 1/4 of a yard. You make a good amount of pom-poms for personal use. So as you can see, this fur is a little bit thinner. If you turn it to the side, it's not as dense, so it makes a less fluffy pom-pom. But if you look at this fur right here, it's pretty dense. This will make a really fluffy pom-pom. So if you make a 6-inch pom-pom with a less dense fur, it's probably gonna look a little bit smaller than if you make a 6-inch pom-pom with a thicker fur, such as this pom-pom. They look a lot larger just because they're fluffier, but they are the same size still. So as you can see, this one is a little bit less fluffy, but it's the same size as that one. This one just has more fur. And that's all you'll need to do this process. It's really easy, and let's go ahead and get started. So after you cut your shapes out, just go ahead and use a bit of your string, and I double mine just by folding it in half. I don't worry about tying a knot at the end because we're gonna leave a little bit of a tail so we can tie it off later. So you're gonna start at the top of your pom-pom. You'll know that it's the top because it'll be the flat part right here. It won't be the bottom part right here. So you'll flip it over. Starting at the top, you'll just insert your needle, and you're gonna kind of make it so it makes a drawstring. So you'll just weave it in and out. Whenever you pull your string through, just be sure to leave a bit of a tail. So just like that. And you'll do that all around. You don't have to be perfect with it. It's gonna be best to make smaller stitches. So that's about the size that you want. I'm going to go ahead and sew all around my circle, and then I'll be right back. All right, once you've made all of your stitches, as you can see, mine are pretty uniform in size and spacing. I've made it back to the top and made sure not to leave too big of a gap, and I still have my needle attached here. It's also important that you don't get any fur stuck under the stitches because it won't give you a good look to your pom-pom in the end. So what you're gonna do is you're going to grab all the tails here. I keep my needle attached for this step just in case I need it later. And then I kind of pull it so it makes a little bowl. So you can kind of see how it's like bunching in there. Grab your polyfill and stuff it up. You don't want too much polyfill, but you want enough to make sure it goes all in there so your pom is nice and fluffy and they're all consistent. Some people use less, some people use more. I prefer more just because I like a larger pom-pom. So kind of just work with it until it gets all the way closed up and you have your stuffing fit back in there, and kind of play with it and make sure it has all the stuffing that you want. I do want to add a bit more to mine, so I'm going to just stick it in there. All right, and that feels nice and firm to my liking. So I'm just going to pull the drawstrings and tie it in a knot. You don't want to pull too hard on the strings or they will break, and that's very frustrating to have to start all over. But once you get the hang of it, it'll be really nice and easy. So now that I have the first set of ties done, I'm just going to make sure none of the hair is stuck in between the knots, just so they can be as fluffy as possible all around. The key is to make it so nobody can find where the hole is. Then I just go through the other side of the pom-pom with my needle, making sure that none of the fur gets stuck in there just by picking it out with my needle. And then I'm going to tie this in a knot. So I have that tied in a knot, and as you can see, you can barely tell that the hole is there. You can just see the string coming out. So then I grab my 2 strings and I shake my pom-pom. This will help fluff out your pom-pom and allow you to see if any of your hairs are like stuck in where you pulled and tied. So you'll just kind of take your needle and fluff those back out. Alright, so once I get everything pulled back out, I go ahead and give it another shake and see if I'm happy with the way it looks, and I am. So I will go ahead and take my scissors and cut my string off. I leave my string hanging off the end so you can tie it onto the hats easy. I like to use this string to tie onto hats just because it makes them extra secure in my opinion. There you go. You can also take a hairdryer to it to make them a little fluffier. I don't prefer to do that. I kind of like when they're natural like this, and you can fluff them up yourself. So I wanted to show you the difference between the super thick fur like this and the fur that I used for this one that I showed you at the beginning. So you can see these are the same size pom-pom, but this one just looks smaller because this fur is thicker. It just looks bigger because the fur is denser. So that's kind of what you have to look at whenever you're buying your fur to see if you like the fluffier pom-poms or if you like less fluffy pom-poms. I prefer both. I like them all. And then this is a short-haired pom-pom. So as you can see, the fur is much shorter than the other pom-pom. All right, guys, and that's how I make my pom-poms. If you have any questions or want to add anything, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you have any requests, also leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.